And then I said to him, "That's not my ex-wife. That's the dilithium crystal converter." Oh, hi. Didn't see you there. Let me just pop this tape in.
In 1957, he died some kind of horrible death. People say he was killed by one of his creations.
Total mind control.
Soon, concentration becomes complete. The final step is the one that can only be achieved through molecular realignment with a negative electrical charge. I know this to be true. I have created such an instrument.
Come on, Warren. You're not gonna learn how to meet women by reading a bunch of stupid books. Use your head. Just be yourself.
I've been myself all my life, and even I don't like me.
What's up, everybody? I'm back with another episode. Hamburger Theater. The strange world of B movies, bad movies, cult movies, D movies, exploitation flicks, Z-grade pictures, and everything in between. This time, I'm gonna force a movie onto you. This one is called Mind Killer. It's something from the 1987. Directed by Michael Kruger. Different person, same spelling. Released by Prism Entertainment. A down-on-his-luck librarian finds a manuscript that can help him with his women problems. Little does he know that this manuscript is going to change his life forever. He reads something, he has a wet dream, and boom, mind powers. Alright, let me start this off by saying that this movie is actually probably the best that I've talked about so far. And when you're comparing it to Lords of Magic, Mind Killer is surprisingly, painlessly watchable. It's kinda nice. It's almost therapeutic in a way. It sorta has a made-for-TV movie kind of feel, but you get past that about halfway through. It has some great special effects, which I'm gonna get to. And of course, it has its own slew. Yes, a slew of wonderful, delicious, bad movie nuggets.
The only time we even talk anymore is when I bring you the mail. You haven't come out in weeks. And that horrible stench.
Don't! Just slide it under the door. Slide it under the door! Mother, please! I'm working. I need solitude.
So we meet a guy who works in the library. His name is Warren, and he's in a bit of a pickle. You see, he just gets really awkward when it comes to talking to women, mostly because he wants to go out with any woman he sees, which is true in this movie. This might be part of the problem. So anyway, we meet Warren, and we meet his friend Larry. They both work in the library together. Warren and Larry do something that two people who are very obviously nerd-type people wouldn't normally do in a movie like this at all. They go to the bar to pick up chicks. Well, they go to the bar to try to pick up chicks, to try to pick up women. They don't call them chicks. Well, you know what I mean. So, this movie kind of revolves around really just four characters. Warren, his friend Larry, his new coworker Sandy, who is a woman, and Warren's roommate Brad. Now, Brad is what you would call a ladies' man, a womanizer. He even goes so far as to take advantage of Warren's grandfather's profession of professional wrestling just to get into bed with these girls. Yeah. That's pretty desperate. So, something around not quite halfway through the movie happens that shakes up Warren's group of friends, which is his one friend Larry. They have a new coworker, and it's a woman, so naturally Warren wants to go out with her. She doesn't want it, so he accidentally stumbles upon a manuscript in the deep depths of the library. There's this really strange thing that Larry does. He has this weird thing for coyotes. He reads a book about them in the beginning of the movie, but he keeps howling like them. And then later in the movie, he has a girl over at his place, so he puts a record on for them to make out to, but it's just coyote howls. That's all the record is. There's no reason why this obsession occurs. It's just like a normal thing. It just seems something that Larry will do. No one in the movie really questions it, so I won't either, as hard as that is. At this point, Larry knows what Warren is doing, and he learns how to do it somehow. Oh, by reading this manuscript, which is, of course, ridiculous.
Well, hey, I like science fiction as much as anybody, but how could reading an article do this to him?
I've always been kind of interested in politics, but I wouldn't know where to start.
Make bad movies. Third-rate actors go real far in politics.
Whoa! Hold on, cowpoke. Let me make the jokes here, okay? So anyway, Warren can, like, make people do things. He can move zippers with his mind. Yeah, that's a lot of fun. And Warren is spinning out of control. Hey man, I know your hair is falling out because you gave yourself mind powers, but would you please not put your hair in the bedside drawer? Please? Don't do that. Like, you're gonna keep it for later when all your hair falls out and you go bald. You're just gonna go get a glue stick or something, fix it all up, just make it look like it never happened? No. So one other thing in this movie that incredible mind powers gives you, for some reason, is the ability to cook really well, which is something that cannot be learned and cannot be practiced, as we all know. I mean, they don't even make books for food. I mean, you just gotta figure all this stuff out on your own. You got time for that? I'll trust my mind powers, thank you. Warren even shows off to his roommate Brad one night when he's having Sandy over for dinner.
God, this is great.
Dude, you ate a carrot. Come on. Here's a scene I have to talk to you about. This is a scene that only really lasts 2 minutes, but it's the best 2 minutes in the movie, and it's worth seeing just for this one segment. And even then, when you're done watching that 2 minutes, you'll want to just finish the movie. Why not? This segment pulls out all the stops. It's great. This is where all the practical special effects comes out, and this is the reason why I chose to watch this movie just for myself in general. The practical special effects are amazing. I mean, you can see that the whole budget just went to that, but I'm not complaining. So many uses of effects happen in this short 2 minutes. It's just so much fun to watch. Feels like this might be the first thing that they shot for the movie to get a feel of where the horror aspect comes in, because there really isn't any of it in the previous hour. You generally want a horror movie to feel like a horror movie pretty much from the beginning through to the end as a consistent, project.
What you do is concentrate on the task at hand. Imagine yourself confident, doing it perfectly, then visualize the outcome. That's a very beginning exercise. Can I buy you a drink or something?
Or something? Warren, I've been doing a lot of thinking. We need to talk. I don't quite know how to say this.
So as Sandy sits down and tries to talk to Warren, kind of starts to mess with her mind by making her see things, he reaches his arm around, but she looks over and sees a wolf claw reach around to her shoulder and starts freaking out. She looks back towards Warren, and all of a sudden he's like a bat monster. It is the greatest 1.5 seconds of looking at a bat monster on the screen in a movie I've seen so far. And she runs away, runs into his bedroom, tries to pick up the phone and call 911 or something, and the door's closed, but he makes the telephone receiver turn into a little tiny mouth that bites her on the chin, and she freaks out. She falls down, and then the door just slams open, and there's a 9-foot tall werewolf just standing there behind a thin layer of mist, and it is just great. There is a nice little freak out segment straight on screaming for a minute, and then Sandy wakes up. It was all a dream, or was it? Okay, and from there, everything really just kind of ends in a big ol' showdown. A big ol' showdown. I'm talking Wild West kind of showdown, except, well, this movie is science fiction and horror, so, and then the movie just kind of ends right after that. I'm not going to give you any details of that showdown because you really just have to see it for yourself. Okay, so once you get through all of that in Mind Killer, you look back at yourself and then you realize you've been watching an hour-and-a-half movie with about an hour of build-up and 30 minutes of payoff. In some movies, that's a fair trade, but in Mind Killer, that's only kind of a fair trade. The only reason I say kind of is because throughout that first hour, we get those little weird bad movie moments, but once you watch it, if you do, you'll be semi-glad that you did. However, you will probably never watch this again, and I don't blame you. I just wish that I had only seen this once, because thinking about this movie is a real mind killer. Oh, come on, Bobby. That was good. That was good. Really? Don't walk out. I'll just roll the credits.
Hey, Mama, I've been watching you.
Eat shit and die, dickhead.
You have been listening to Hamburger Theater. This was a production by Andre Couture. Additional production, temporal mind link, and synchronization by Benjamin Marks. All audio from the film is meant to aid in discussion and review of this movie. The film that I saw was Mind Killer, directed by Michael Kruger, written by Curtis Hannum, Michael Kruger, and Dave Sipos, released by Prism Entertainment, and Flash Features, starring Joe McDonald as Warren, Christopher Wade as Larry, Shirley Ross as Sandy, and Kevin Hart as Brad. Hungry for more? Look out for Hamburger Theater on the webs real soon. What's up, everybody? Back to Use your turn signals.